Welcome, everyone, to day 4 of round 2, Red versus Blue Cyber League. I'm your host, Clint Bodungen. This is my co-host, Jerry Ozier. What's up, man?
Nothing. I'm ready for some more hot action. Round 2, man. It's going to be a good match today. I can't wait.
This is feeling a bit like Groundhog Day for me. Hopefully, audio and hardware issues are done. So I want to apologize to everybody watching yesterday. We had the hardware failure. Left me with no options. Complete USB bus failure, and my backup option is right next to me here, and he was playing. So we were left with no redundancy. So I made all my homage and offerings to the hardware gods today. So hopefully all that's resolved, but I do have my backup over here just in case.
We will have round 2 action today. It is happening. There is no doubt. There's nothing going to stop us right now. I see all sorts of folks in chat already. David E., a regular in here. Joshua B., Haircut Fish, Robert Rhodes, my man, Munchkin in the house, Ryan Spishak. We are paired live with the Simply Cyber community, so thank you all for coming over and supporting the stream. I am super, super excited for this matchup. Eric Taylor, winner of round 1. He was red team in the first round, eviscerated Matt Lee, or not Matt Lee. Who did he take on? It's Josh Mason. Josh Mason moved quickly through him. Ken Underhill, also red team against Matt Lee, had that narrow victory against Matt Lee, who was putting up a great defense. So 2 red teams. They can't both be red team. Clint, who is on which side today? Drop it for the chat.
Yep, so we have Eric Taylor is red and Ken is blue. So that was done by coin toss officially. Eric did that. And I know that that is a little bit to the dismay of a lot of Eric's fans because everybody wanted to see Eric play blue, but that's just the way it worked out. And I actually kind of started the versus promo tape here a little bit early, and I apologize for that because actually what I wanted to show was, and there, I actually wanted to show this one as you were talking, Jerry, the breakdown of how the brackets, this is on eSports.ThreatGEN.com, on how the brackets work out. So today's match, the first one here, like you said, we have Eric and Ken, and then later on, we're going to have that rescheduled match between you, Jerry, and Stacy. So this is going to be an exciting day, and hopefully it's exciting for everyone else too.
Absolutely, yeah. That 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's already scheduled on the ThreatGEN channels and the Simply Cyber channels. My match against Stacy, I will be red, she will be blue. I'm looking forward to that action, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I am hyper focused on this Ken versus Eric match right now. Looks like our competitors are starting to get ready. Eric is looks like he's, there's been some predictions. I saw Carrie in chat predicting Eric in 19. So we've got some chess level declarations being made. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I've seen both of them practicing a lot. Ken has been practicing on the server. Eric's been spending a lot of time on Discord, but I think, at this point, I think, they're ready to go. Eric's over there dancing. Ken has his screen ready. Now, a couple changes that we do have for round 2 is that the blue team gets to start with 4 staff now. We have changed up the meta game a little bit in that the stealth options for the red team is a little easier, and the P&L victory, the profit and loss victory, is a little easier to achieve. But to counter, so those two kind of counter each other. You got an extra staff member, which is huge in terms of resources for blue team, and then on the red team, you've got more stealth options, so they're going to be harder to catch. But also, we have updated the vulnerability metrics in that now there's a greater variance between easy vulnerabilities and hard vulnerabilities to exploit. So players have to pay attention to that aspect now on whether these vulnerabilities are complex or easy when they make their selections on which vulnerabilities they're going to exploit.
All right. This is going to be excellent. Clint, should I let our players know that they can move forward?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell Ken to go ahead and host right there.
All right. I've told our competitors that they can pull the trigger. Ken is going to host. Eric's going to join. There we go. We see Ken has already stood it up, or at least I'm seeing it in my feeds. Sorry. There we go. Eric can see it in his game, waiting for Eric to click.
Oh, am I not live? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was actually lagging. Now I'm live on both. Yep, I'm live on both.
We're looking at Ken's feed right now. Eric can see Ken. He's joining. There they go. And we're off and running. They will be choosing random. This does benefit, as some of our more seasoned players note. Is this the manufacturing map?
Yes, it is. This is the small map.
So already there's some drama. This is a devastating hit against Eric before he's even made a move. 4 resources on the smallest map. Now, the maps are selected randomly, so we'll have to see. But Ken, already out the gate, has a slight advantage given the map size. 2
advantages. I mean, the map size, and now you have that benefit of the extra resource. And I'll just show you real quick. That's what Eric teed up there. We kind of skipped that part, but he teed that up. Every time we see, there it is. Yeah, they're just kind of clicking back and forth. They're moving really fast on their turns.
Yeah, I'm watching gameplay, so I can speak to that as you talk, Clint. Whenever you're ready to jump back into what's going on.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So he's got his human social engineering research completed, and that means he's probably going for an on-site run. He's done he's got two rounds of human social engineering research done, which indicates an on-site run. He's also queuing up some research for some of those vulnerabilities.
Yep, and he's past the turn. Looks like he's going onto the perimeter as well, so he's already starting to make his move.
Yeah, and Ken is already preparing for physical security there as well. I think he's already done the surveillance. Yep, he's already done video surveillance, and he's queuing up. He was looking at physical two-factor authentication, I think. So Ken is already starting his physical defense. That's probably not good news for Eric.
Eric going into the corporate office, not the plant for HMI cheese. Eric might be adopting the technique that I had implemented earlier in the week, where going on site, planting some Trojans, getting some initial footholds, and then going back to the hacker hangout. He's successful. Well, here, switch over to Eric, please.
Yeah, I was getting lag. There we go.
Eric has successfully gotten into the conference room, so he's in the corporate office. Looks like he might consider cloning an RFID badge or planning a rootkit.
Rogue device.
Yep, so it looks like he's going to be going with that technique of installing a foothold inside the environment and then getting out, which I think is a fantastic solution. It's basically like a guaranteed social engineer spearfish strike, right? Except you're planting the device yourself instead of relying on Carl to install it for you.
Exactly. And also, I think, there's a slight play mistake there, a misstep by Ken in that installing electronic two-factor authentication. I don't see a lot of players using electronic means of entry. I think we did see a cloned RFID badge once, but other than that, he's wasted some turns there on his choice of physical defense.
Now, I think he's scanning. Eric's rogue device was unsuccessfully hit.
Oh.
So that's a tough one. It does not look like he queued up another a rogue device plant?
Yeah, he did physical recon, I think, and I think so. As an alternative, I think he's going to plant some Trojans.
Oh, he's doing 2 Trojan plants. Okay, that's great. That's great. So
Yeah.
that's what I would do. Eric the Evil Maid. That's right, Alex. Good one. Very, very interesting. Like Eric, it's critically important to Eric's strategy for some of these Trojans to sink. Okay, he did successfully strike a Trojan, so now he's going to have that foothold if he does get arrested and thrown out with those surveillance cameras that Ken has implemented.
Unfortunately, though, it also looks like that the foothold he has with that Trojan is in the user space as opposed to like the server area. But that's fine. It's a foothold. He needs to research persistence and hide his tracks now, so Ken doesn't discover him.
Exactly. And when you're in user land, I mean, you can. Ken has not done network segmentation. He has not looked at it.
Oh, that's a good point.
So, you know, user land might as well be at the HMIs unless you're going to segment those networks up.
Yeah. Yep. What's he doing there with the...
Looks like he's hardening the the engineering workstation. Smart move.
Or he's maybe hardening the terminal server. He doesn't have any vulnerability assessments done, so he's probably hardening RDP on the... He doesn't even have a terminal server because he didn't segment his network. So, yeah, I don't know what he's doing there.
I'm sorry, he was putting EDR on. He's just done a vulnerability assessment. Sounds like he realized... Okay, oh man, another strike on a Trojan, so good work there by Eric. He has 2 footholds. Just based on the icons, it looks like they're both end-user workstations. I'm not sure if anyone in chat can zoom in or see better on their feed what workstations those are. It's hard for me to be able to tell if those are, in fact... Oh, yeah, look at this. More Trojans for days. I love it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we see Ken's...
Apologize. His feed is kind of blurry.
Yeah, so Ken has done...
Oh! I don't know if you saw that. He got arrested.
We do have an arrest, yeah. But one of the strong benefits here is Eric has planted multiple Trojans. He can access those Trojans from jail. He does have hacker resources that are not in jail that will allow him to do what he needs to do. All right. Drill instructor Linstead stuck his oar in. All right, interesting. Ken is hardening a remote user. Interesting.
EDR, yeah.
See the controller PC. If Eric has successfully compromised one of these controller workstations, you know, he can get to the HMI.
He's not paying attention. Is he chatting in the...
Let me know. Eric.
Yeah, he's not paying attention to his turn. He's...
Oh my God, chat, scream at him. He is losing vital time. And he finds out he's been arrested. That's no good. He lost 30 seconds, half his turn there. He only has 2 resources. When you get arrested in Red versus Blue ThreatGEN, you suffer a 3-resource penalty for 3 turns. This is another devastating hit for Eric in his gameplay. His only saving grace is that he has these 2 footholds.
And he needs to hide his tracks.
Yeah, let's look at Ken's.
Ken
has discovered one of the Trojans.
It's a tough break.
Now, Ken, if he does network segmentation, that'll basically burn his whole budget. So Ken either needs to go for it and request budget, or he's going to bypass it, which will allow Eric to really quickly pivot around the environment. Yeah, I agree with Alex. Clint, Eric is spending time on researching electronic SE at this time, and I feel like he really needs to focus on those compromised assets and moving laterally.
Yeah, I feel like that he's getting set up to get another foothold. He's setting up another alternative means to get a foothold, and I don't feel like that's necessary right now. He should have researched persistence, and he should have covered his tracks immediately.
Yep, let's see what he does. He has 2 resources. Oh my God. Like, I'm getting tummy troubles, Clint, with Eric's approach. Now, we have seen in the last 2 games a late Hail Mary social engineer strike on an engineering workstation. I don't know if Eric is trying to get an insurance policy for the late game.
He might just be going. He might just be going straight for the the massive social engineering hit. Maybe he's just queuing up just to do that. And if you and I didn't look, but so Ken has done a vulnerability assessment, but I don't know if he's done security awareness training and two-factor authentication.
He has done. I'm not sure, actually. I thought he maybe had security awareness training. One of Ken's problems right now is Ken only has $8,000 in budget. Network segmentation is a $10,000 option. He cannot do that right now. So there is a gap exposure here where Eric, if he can move around from his Trojan endpoints, he can get into the sensitive guts of the environment. It looks like Ken's decided to actually activate IR and start cleaning up that Smith workstation. What Ken doesn't know is that Eric has another workstation that he owns. I wish I could see what that workstation name is.
So real quick, it looks like that. So Eric, one of our viewers, Eric has a good point. He says that David has a point saying that Eric might be got disconnected there. That's what the blue means. Eric might be setting up to get more to recruit more hackers. So the way that the recruit hackers mechanic works now is you have to up your street cred, and the way that you do that is, ironically, not ironically, but if you get arrested, that ups your street cred, but also just being a good hacker. So doing things like compromising devices, these sorts of things, ups your street cred. So therefore, he may be setting up to get a few more resources.
Yeah. I gotta say, just based on what I've seen Eric's play, and I've watched all of his matches, Eric always has a very clear strategy, and this approach seems a little muddled. I'm not sure if anyone else is kind of picking up on that, but it does feel a little disjointed.
He's using your strategy.
The disjointed
the disjointed, muddled kind of strategy.
Oh, okay. The Jerry's Wild Ride, the thrash around wild ride, very good. Yeah, I agree with David Aid. Ken definitely needs to request budget ASAP. All right, so he's running a watering hole campaign and a spear phishing attack. He's going YOLO on electronic SE.
Yeah, I think he's gonna throw the Hail Mary.
Now, Clint, okay, hold on. I do have a question about disconnecting a system, but I'll ask you in a second. So it looks like Ken did clean up. Yep.
So I think he's written. Ken has not segmented his network yet.
No, and Ken doesn't have money. Ken's broke, man.
So that was probably the biggest misstep right there by Eric. Is that he right now he has those resources right now. If he was to do a host scan right now and start searching out the engineering workstation or anything that's connected to those PLCs, he can win the game right now.
Yeah, I don't know. He is dancing. He is in a good mood. As far as I know, he has not done a host scan from either of those compromised assets.
And if he did that right now, he would see that the network is flat and he has the opportunity to find the engineering workstation or the SCADA server right now.
I agree. But guys, as we've seen in multiple matches, both friendly and tournament, red team can get a Hail Mary at the end, and blue can be set up for success and still get punched in the mouth. It looks like Ken is doing vulnerability mitigations and really focusing on that engineering workstation. So smart move by him. This isn't good for Eric. He's just hardened that system. Now that system already has a Trojan on it, so a bit of a misstep. The machine's already compromised, so hardening it's not going to help you. EDR would have been a better move for Ken on that particular turn.
Yeah, what is Eric doing? Eric, it's just like you. I'm having stomach issues now because and Eric doesn't know what we know. Eric probably expects that the network is probably already segmented. I would, but by this turn 20, you don't have a segmented network. I cannot believe that. If Eric is like,
damn,
he's poised to take this.
Ken got budget. Ken has more than enough money to segment his network.
That network's
right now.
Going to get segmented now. Oh,
he's really focusing on EDR, which is not a bad move, but the network segmentation is so valuable.
Yeah, I think that he's going to be sick. Eric's going to be sick with himself in the post game whenever we tell him that the network. What happened?
He had 2 failed spear phishing attacks in a row. That's 6 turns, and he's increasing his electronic SE research now. He also suffered recruiting hackers and had that action fail. So, God, man, the gods are against Eric today. Small map, failed recruiting, 2 spear phishing attacks when he has electronic SE researched. It's not going well. The random number generators are not in his favor, but I will tell you, as long as that network is not segmented, he has a puncher's chance in this battle.
Yeah, I cannot believe he's not even following the basic tenets of the kill chain. You have a pivot, host scan.
Exactly. It's like he's so focused on the electronic social engineering attack. But what's the objective of that tech? What's the impact? Okay, so we've got segmentation.
Done. Oh.
So just to finish my thought, the whole reason you would do electronic SE is to get a foothold in the organization. He's already got that foothold. So he's going backwards. He's going up the kill chain.
Yeah, and now I think now he knows. Now he's gonna kick himself. He's gonna kick himself in the butt now because now he's gonna realize his access was cut off. Now he's gonna. I bet he just realized that the network wasn't segmented.
Yeah, he just pushed back in his chair and threw his hands up like, oh no.
Yeah.
So he's canceled his social media campaign. He did have a successful password attack on a core router,
but then it got removed.
Oh, he got network segmented. But he does own that router if he is able to get back into the environment. Yeah. So is Eric's visibility exclusively just the internet now? This is a really bad situation.
Yeah, all Eric. He has physical. He's back at the beginning. He's essentially kind of started over now. I wonder if Ken did that on purpose, playing the bastard operator from hell on purpose. I kind of felt like it was induced a little bit because he just didn't have the budget. But I wonder, I'm going to ask him in post. I wonder if at some point he made a conscious decision to delay network segmentation specifically for that reason.
Oh, Ken does not know that he needs to get it certified, so he's knocked his own PLC over, and I wonder if he's going to think that Eric is successfully attacking that. Now, we got a question in from chat. Explain why network segmentation would fail. Clint, in the context of the game, does network segmentation fail? Can that action fail?
I don't think so. We have our lead developer, Aaron, in chat could answer that, but I've never seen network segmentation fail.
Okay. Now, in real life, I could see it fail in the context that you just implement it and then you all the firewall rules. So it's not really segmented. It's just it's just there, and you check the box that you have network segmentation, but it's not really securing anything. All right. So back to this hot action.
Yeah, somebody says that it's failing for there every time. You'd have to submit screenshots. We can't answer that with little information. You're going to have to submit screenshots and conditions because we've never seen that happen.
Yeah, let me know, Base. We can get that sorted out. It is an interesting bug if that's the case. Now, Eric did have a successful watering hole attack. I don't see it on his screen. Again, spear phishing failed. Turn 26, we're at the halfway point of the match, and I do feel like Eric is already throwing haymakers, hoping to land one. This is tough for Eric.
Yeah, I don't know. What is he doing? He's letting his clock just sit there, and he's not ending his turn. He's literally just sit there like the thinking man. Maybe he is thinking.
I think he's disheveled with his gameplay, and it might be a little tough to back it up at this time. Now, Clint, I want to ask you, how much do you think the meta adjustment of the 4th resource is playing into the gameplay here?
I don't think that's played very much at all, considering based
Eric
on what I see. Yeah, I mean, based on if Eric would have done a proper host scan, proper kill chain, it wouldn't have been a factor at all.
Agreed.
I'm not seeing any of the changes that we made being a factor here because he's not even trying any active exploitation. So the vulnerability technical adjustments are not coming into play. Mm-hmm. Maybe recruit hackers affected him a little bit, but I'm not seeing any of the changes really make a difference here. This is pure gameplay.
It is tough that Eric, his recruit hackers failed, having those 2 extra resources are just critically important. And I would argue, like in my gameplay in Eric's first round, recruiting hackers was the first turn move, and it was successful. He had already built up some cred. He had been arrested. I wonder if being arrested actually works against you, because it might be cool to be elite hacker, but being in jail is not cool. Ken installed EDR on Johnson and now has discovered that Trojan. Unfortunately, Eric cannot see the Trojan any longer because of the network segmentation, but
and he's failing those spearfish decks. Now, we didn't do anything to the meta to affect spearfishing one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Tough. It's tough, man. With his electronic SE research and all these things. Wow.
Well, he's still got 20 turns. He's not going to pull off a P&L victory. He's going to have to get that Hail Mary onto the, a critical asset. Yeah, he's researching IDS evasion. Doesn't make sense to me at this point in the game.
I think, guys, so I'll tell you something. I have played this game many times, okay? And I've done it competitively multiple times. When you're on the red side and your initial strategy kind of goes out the door, you start kind of like freaking out a little bit because you want to course correct, but you're not sure the right way, and you're already thinking you're halfway through the kill chain, and then you got to start back over. What have you done to help you come at it a different way? And it can be nerve-wracking, and I think that's what we're seeing here with Eric. He is definitely trying the Hail Mary.
Yeah, but he's got that email phishing campaign that he's going to set up.
God, man, level 32, and all you see is what you see on level 1. Turn 1 is punch in the mouth.
Yeah. I think Ken's on the verge of pulling off another upset here.
I know.
Eric was the favorite going in for sure.
What kind of mitigating actions would lead to Eric's spearfishing failing as many times as it did?
You have a general buff in policies and procedures. You have more specific buffs in 2-factor authentication and security awareness training.
Interesting. And I'm not sure, chat, if that's actually what has happened or not, but you would think that Ken has done these things because he's successfully avoiding being attacked, right?
There you go. What did he get? Oh my God!
Oh my God, it's the controller PC. This is the Hail Mary. Dude, he's pumped. He's got hands up. He's feeling himself. Guys, this can happen. Now, Ken is in IR right now, so he will see it. Or he's not in IR, but I mean, he has EDR on this device. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. There's a lot going on here. They're moving quick, guys. He disconnected it from the network. That will take a turn, right, Clint?
Yep. But
oh my God, unsuccessfully damaged. Crap on a cracker.
Oh my God.
Eric has done a attack again, but he does not know that Ken has disconnected it from the network.
Oh my God, it's still failing. Oh no. Oh, 2 failed, and the second one failed because he got disconnected.
Now, it looks for the red team, it probably looks like it's been patched or something, right? These don't turn bright blue. Actually, the controller PC has turned blue, which indicates that it is disconnected from the network.
Yeah, no, Ken did a good job disconnecting.
Now, Ken just
he just reconnected it.
He did spend $5,000 to replace the asset.
Oh, okay.
This is going to hurt pretty bad for Eric. He was feeling it.
Yeah,
I'm
telling you, I think somebody earlier just said the RN Jesus is not with him.
Yes. All right. So he's got his asset back up, and he needs to deactivate IR. Eric can see his assets. He's going to pass the turn.
Yeah, he can still see it because he knows about it. You don't lose visibility unless you do something structurally like segmenting the network.
All right, so Ken, obviously, I would do this too. Ken just replaced the asset, so he's creating a restore point. He's hardening the system. Basically, that engineering workstation can't be hacked. That doesn't mean that Carl, the engineer, can't fall for a fish and have the asset compromised, but it's going to be harder.
Yeah. I mean, Ken is following his incident response was flawless. Go into instant response mode, disconnect the thing, replace it as soon as it's brand new, creating a restore point. I mean, that was a flawless response execution.
It really was. Yeah, Eric. Guys, I'll tell you what. One of the best things about ThreatGEN Red versus Blue and playing competitive cybersecurity is the emotional roller coaster you go on. I guarantee you, Eric was definitely down in the dumps, feeling frustrated, hit that controller engineering workstation, feeling like the king on the world. It gets cut off the network, back in the dumps.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's tough. He's ended the campaign. Guys, like, I can't get over the fact that Eric was not host scanning at the beginning when he nailed those assets right out the door.
That was that right there was that was his big misstep. That was the biggest misstep of the game for him.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah. Ooh. It was what do they call that? Like the right guard or the degree like high intensity heat moment of the game or whatever. I don't know. There's some like
the climax.
Yeah. All right. So, now at this point, Ken is just doing your fundamental hardening. He's prioritized his resources, OT, and now he's doing his IT infrastructure.
If he gets another lucky strike, I mean, that's about the last saving grace that Eric has right now. He doesn't have time to do anything else. Wait for the spearfish to come in.
Yeah, this P&L, Ken's P&L is way too high to bring it down.
Yeah, he has enough time to do.
The threat intelligence is pretty low at this point in the game, so we're not going to get that win. Ken's either going to win by weathering the storm, which means lasting 50 turns, or Eric is going to get a lucky strike. If I had, I would say normally I'd bet $100 on Ken winning, but we've seen twice now the lucky strike winning successfully right there at the end.
Now it says Watering Hole campaign, it succeeded. That just means it succeeded in getting set up. Oh, Eric did pop something. I didn't see how that happened.
Neither did I.
Because that
he had a successful. No, I don't know how he did it, honestly.
Yeah, because you don't get switches like that.
Switches get stitches.
Yeah, I don't know how he ended up getting that switch.
Oh my god! So I'm playing red later today, and I'm getting nauseous just watching this gameplay of Eric. Where not that he's making bad decisions or not, but just blue, like just constricting like a boa constrictor on the red team.
I wonder if that's a bug. I wonder if because his campaign succeeded, and I'm wondering if he landed a strike on that switch with the Watering Hole campaign, if it wasn't, there might be a little bug there to where instead of only Windows devices and only PCs get affected, it probably hit that switch. So something to think about.
Well, we will see. Thank you, Young Atheist, for the kind words about loving this eSports action. We love it too.
It's not a bug. I mean, it's an undocumented feature. It's an extra feature.
Yeah. Oh my God. Eric is definitely desperate. He's doing malicious USBs, which means he's going to have to go on site.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have enough time. He doesn't have enough time if he's going to go that route.
He did successfully research human SE earlier, so getting on site, that is in his wheelhouse. But dropping the USBs, getting strikes, moving laterally, getting HMI, blowing it up, you can't do it in 4 turns. So. Really, really a tough match for Eric. I feel like it's all but written at this point in ink, Clint.
Let's see. If he drops the USB, if it gets successful next turn, and he hits the right box, and he still does have a saving grace here. If he drops the USB drop, if he gets a successful USB drop on, say, the engineering workstation, and then immediately... Oh,
Man, I got to tell you,
that's game over.
With all due respect to Ken Underhill, he is a good professional, and he is very knowledgeable when it comes to cybersecurity. So, like, I make this statement in context of gameplay experience and competitive esports matchup experience and cybersecurity knowledge. This is an upset. Eric Taylor was the favorite of the tournament, and Ken Underhill has come in the second round and just swept him up like a kitchen floor.
Yep. And Ken has made, other than waiting so long to segment the network, which was either by design or just lack of budget and just happened that way, Ken's play otherwise was pretty flawless.
It was flawless. There was a lot going on here between tough RNG rolls for Eric, tough map for Eric. It is random, so you have a 30% chance of getting this map. And then not, making missteps of not scanning when he owned those boxes.
Yeah, that was it. Oh, he's got that. That's not going to get him anything, unfortunately. What? Yeah. Yeah,
it's tough. But that's okay. Eric he was a good competitor throughout the competition. He definitely set a high mark as the pole position. Number 1 seeded competitor in the match. We're at turn 50, so this is going to be wrapping up here, guys. Stay with us because we will be having Eric and Ken come join us for a post-game debrief after the match is over. But it looks like Ken Underhill is going to take it for the W.
Yep, and there it is. Yep.
What a match, people. What a match. Just
go over to I can see his a little better.
Slow and methodical. Tough for Eric Taylor. He's looking at Ken's map now, trying to figure out, like, a lot of green, a lot of success for Ken. A lot of red, a lot of failure for Eric Taylor.
Man, yeah.
What a match.
Congratulations to Ken. His play was flawless. And I'm the only reason I'm just kind of like, man, and feeling down is only because I'm disappointed in the misplays that Eric made. And so that's, Well,
we'll get him over here and find out what his strategy was as far as making the decisions that he made and making the decisions he did not make. It looks like, by the way, like anyone that loses in this match, in this tournament, it's high energy, high commitment, high emotions. Whoever loses typically spends a few extra minutes debriefing themselves and reconciling with what their gameplay was and what their opponent actually had. And we're seeing Eric do that right now. Ken's already finished his stream. The winner, who will be advancing to round 3, the finals, against the winner of Stacy Loki versus Gerald Ogier later today. Eric has dropped his screen. He is moving over. He's running his outro, so we're ready to go here.
Yep. We have Ken in the green screen. Hold on real quick. We do have Ken in the green screen.
The green room.
The green room, and we're going to wait for Eric to show up before we let Ken in.
So people are already calling for Stacy's victory in chat, at least in the Simply Cyberspace. I know that Stacy works at Expel. There's a lot of Expel people who are celebrating her and getting her pumped up and rooting for her. So I've got my hands full later today, people.
All right, here they are. Let's go ahead and let them in. Hey guys, oh man. Let me tell you something before we get into this and before we talk about your strategies. I just want to say, Eric, if you haven't realized this already, you're going to kick yourself because Ken waited until turn 20 to segment the network. The entire time you had 2 compromised hosts. If you would have just done a host scan from either one of those pivots, you would have probably found
and I don't want to be that quote unquote sore loser, but when you have a compromised host and it's not showing up on my screen, I don't know what to say, but hey, either way,
there's a reason why that happened. You had a compromised host and it was showing up. We were watching your screen. It was showing up, but when he segmented the network, they disappear because he changed the network configuration. You lost visibility of it. So that's how that happened. But
we'll talk offline about that one.
No, I guarantee you it worked as advertised. But your misplay was that you never did a host scan at all from either one of those compromised hosts.
Nope.
If you would have just host scanned from either one of those hosts, you would have seen his network was flat, and then you would have noticed that you could have found the engineering workstation. So
yeah,
I could have, yeah, but that wasn't the tactic that was at play, right? The tactic was strictly spear phishing. The tactic was literally to go in, start compromising assets in the corporate environment, pivot back, do spear phishing. It was to attack the pure P&L from that aspect. I didn't want to away from it, but that was a tactic, and it was a losing tactic today.
Yeah, I mean, it like I said, yeah, and you had the option to pivot, and yeah, you just chose not to. So that there, you did lose visibility because he segmented the network, which cuts your visibility. So there was, we were watching it, no bug there. And
if I may, the maps are chosen randomly. Fortunately for Ken, the manufacturing map was selected, which is the smaller map, which is Advantage Blue because they just have less assets to manage and maintain. That certainly helped,
immediately put you behind the 8 ball. So I will tell you this, Eric. Number one, him having four staff members to start off, and then he got the smallest map that puts you behind the 8 ball, and then you got some really unlucky rolls.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
You just, you're spear fishing, and we didn't do any adjustments to the spear fishing. You were just getting unlucky random rolls, and then you had the opportunity to destroy the ICS twice, and it failed twice. That was just really unlucky. So unfortunately, that just kind of sucks there. Let's go over to Ken real quick. So Ken, before we talk about your strategy, I just want to say that other than waiting so long to segment your network, your play was pretty flawless. You actually, your incident response technique was flawless in the way that you went in, you disconnected, you replaced it, then immediately did a backup of the new asset. So talk to me about your strategy, and also tell me, why did you wait so long to segment your network?
Yeah, well, so the segment network, I ran out of cache, so that's the only reason I waited so long. Wanted to do it earlier. I figured Eric would come in with a multi-pronged approach. Number one, going for the physical, because if you can get that early, I'm toast. Also, I figured spear phishing. I figured password spraying he was going to try. So I really wanted to get security awareness, two-factor, lock down the perimeter as much as I could early on, and because I did all of that, I burned through that cache to be able to segment.
I got you
earlier.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I was fingers were crossed down here below camera, saying I hope he doesn't own me before this.
And he did. Fortunate. He had you dead to rights twice.
Eric is really, really good. Like, he kept coming. I was like, damn. Like, all of a sudden, PLC. I'm the ICS is. I'm like, oh, how do you get that? And he's just. Eric is a brutal competitor. Phenomenal job. I mean, I think if we had more rounds, I think he would have tore me up. So I think the 15 round saved me in this one.
His strategy was working on keeping. He kept getting footholds with his social engineering attacks. He just had some bad rolls and then ran out of time. That was it.
Yeah. It was phenomenal for anyone watching. Like, if you want strategy, take it for Red Team. Eric's stuff today was just like, honestly, there's no way to defend against that if you have enough rounds in place for him to keep coming. So.
Well, I play at 3:00 later today, and I'm the Red Team, so perhaps I will adopt those techniques.
Yeah, watch out, Stacy.
Yeah.
Don't OSINT yourself there, Jerry.
I know. Well, yeah, I know. I did like a Renegade broadcast yesterday and went bananas, and actually started the cast by saying what my strategy was going to be for the 3:00 game. So hopefully Stacy didn't go back and watch that, because I'm not changing my strategy. So we'll see.
Yeah, so be sure and check that out. I keep doing that. So that's this afternoon. This was the match. It was actually scheduled yesterday, and then it was messed up by hardware failures, and then so it's rescheduled this afternoon. That's Gerald versus Stacy, and that's going to be our final match of the semifinals before we move into the finals tomorrow, and we'll let you know what time those finals are going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean later today. Sorry.
Yeah, as soon as the match is over, we'll get it sorted out and communicated out there to everybody. But excellent match, a great way to start round 2, and a full day of competitive activity here on the ThreatGEN Red versus Blue eSports. 2022 Invitational tournament. Both great competitors, and genuinely appreciate both of you putting together a very entertaining match.
Real quick before we end this, so Eric, I mean, you kind of mentioned, your strategy was apparent in that you were going for your social engineering, and I think you were purposely avoiding direct cyber attack because you knew about the changes that we communicated to everyone, which was the difficulty levels and the vulnerabilities, and so you were going for that approach there. Looked like you were also maybe teeing up to go physical. Was that your strategy the entire time? At one point, at any point, did you feel like you had to pivot?
The getting USBs was a pivot, and that was down to the last 10 rounds, right? Where, I was like, all right, let me see if I can try to get a Hail Mary into the situation. I mean, I didn't think it was going to work because I already got kicked out and arrested. So I figured he already had his stuff, but, like I said, it literally was a Hail Mary. I didn't think it was going to work at all. So
yeah, well, it almost did. Like I said, I mean, tough luck. I mean, your play, your execution of your strategy was good. Like I said, I just would have recommended host scanning once you had a pivot just to make sure, and then you would have seen that. So unlucky decision there. But I think really the thing that got you the most, aside from Ken's flawless response technique, was you just got bad RNG rolls because you had so many bad rolls on the spearfishing. You had bad rolls on the ICS, and quite frankly, I find it rare to see that many bad rolls on that many actions throughout the game. I mean, our beta testers would argue with me, but me personally, I don't see that many bad rolls. So just tough luck, man. Just tough luck.
Well, and he was also hosed on recruiting cyber hackers, even after he had done some cool stuff in order to seem like an appealing collective to join as a hacker. So that was 3 turns and 2 resources totally, thrown in the trash. So it's tough. So,
any kind of final thoughts there? In any predictions there, Eric?
No, I'm just going to say anybody who's coming up that the game is harder, right? The stakes are higher. The game is definitely harder. It is harder to get, a lot of the same tactics that we've been able to deploy in the past to get executed. You're going to have to bring your A game, and hopefully the turns are in your favor going forward. That's all I can say. Because as you've seen, things that have typically worked in the past are not working as well or as easily as they used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
take it under advice. Yeah,
and that is one of the things that we did by design. We for each team, we made some adjustments that made some things a little harder for them and some things a little easier for them. And we wanted to mix it up for round 2. I also really wanted to mix things up for the finals, but I ran out of time to prepare because I had to fix my hardware issue yesterday. So on that note, Ken, any final thoughts or predictions? I know you think you're going to win, but any chance you think maybe Stacy might beat you?
Yeah. I think we're all on the same page. We're all rooting.
Notice I said Stacy.
Right. Yeah, I was to say we're all rooting against Jerry.
Yeah. Just looking past round 2.
I think I really think it's anyone's game at this point with these changes. Like I said, Eric did a phenomenal job. Great strategy. It was just one of those things where luck or whatever was on my side this time around. And I think Jerry and Stacy is anyone's game. I think the championship's anyone's game. So no predictions for me. I'm going to keep working at it and see who I'll be playing on Friday and figure out a strategy against him. I may slip Eric a 20 to figure out some more of his strategy.
You're gonna, I think, slip Eric a 20 and then slip Greg, some money too. I think he might help you out. But I think my prediction, I think for Jerry and Stacy, I think is probably gonna be the AI.
Okay, easily.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so if the AI wins, it means that RNG was not favoring somebody, right? Mm-hmm. So, maybe we can reboot the AI before my match, just considering how Red Team's RNG was working.
Well, you know that if Jerry loses, He's going to blame the devs. You know, he's going to say that it was a conspiracy against Jerry, coding anti-Jerry conditions into the code. And then,
yeah, no, I'll tell you what. If I lose at 3:00 today, I won't be blaming anyone. I've really had a blast with this tournament, and just being part of it has been a real pleasure. So I not to sound like some type of soft or whatever, but like, I've already won because this is just fantastic and I'm loving the tournament. So I'm going to try to win. I'm going to bring my A game. I'm going to try to put it to Stacy later today. But if it doesn't work out, that's fine. I'll be happy either way.
Well, real quick, before we end this, let's give some love to both of you, Jerry with Simpler Cyber and Eric with Barricade Cyber Solutions. So thank you to our sponsors, and take a quick 10-second break for our sponsors. Okay, so 20 seconds. But either way. All right. So, listen, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to our competitors. Congratulations, Ken. Sorry, Eric. Tough luck. But,
man.
I really, really hope that you consider sticking around for the league in 2023 and any other future events. We like having you. Yeah, we like having you.
I got salt in my wounds today. Just got a little salt in my wounds today. That's all.
So, so everybody be sure and join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. And that's going to be Jerry and Stacy playing. And so, once again, thank you, and we will see you then.